right, we're on Niddah Parak Bet Mishnah Aleph. First Mishnah in the second chapter of Masechet, internal examinations that women would do in order to make sure that they weren't Tume'ot, that they didn't see menstrual blood, in order to make sure before intercourse, after intercourse. All of this was stemmed from the fact that they were checking themselves to make sure that there was no, when they did taharot in the bayit, when they were engaged in things that had to be tahor, that had to be ritually pure, that they weren't making them tameh. So it says, Mishnah, kol hayad hamarbe livdok benashim. The more, kol hayad, literally means every hand, hamarbe, that increases, to check. So the more women would check, meshubachat, that's great. Uba anashim, and for men, tikatzetz. Tikatzetz means to cut his hand off. Why? So if a man would examine himself too much, Shema Yibsami Menukar, he's examining himself for seminal emissions, Tikatzetz, he cut off his hand, Shemitchamim Umargish Kemishmashmesh Ba'ama, because in the end it leads to an inappropriate sexual activity. Umotzi Shichvat Zera Levatela caused him to masturbate. And Halacha did not look on that kindly at all, as you can see from the language. Now, what happened? So that was normal. Women would do these examinations and they would check themselves. But hachareshet, a woman who's deaf, v'hashota, a woman who's not of sound mind, v'hasuma, and a blind woman, v'shenitrafa da'ata, and a woman whose mind is, again, I don't know why they say shota and shenitrafa da'ata. Nitrafa da'ata, again, is another form of a woman who lost her mind. So now it's really interesting. What normally you wouldn't, meaning these women would be around, or these children would be around, etc., etc. Like a cheresh, shoteh, v'katam. We normally talk about them not being obligated in mitzvot. But here you have a member of the household that's in the household, and they have to be dealt with. You have to deal with the fact that they're going to be, once a month, they're going to become tme'ot. So what do? Im yesh lehem pikchot, if they have pikchot, a pikech is someone of sound mind. Meaning, if there are women who are in charge of them, metaknot otan. Metaknot literally means they fix them, but they can bodkot otam, they can examine them, umat bilot otam, and they take them to the mikvah. And they can eat truma. Now, interestingly, this suma doesn't need a metapelet. The blind woman doesn't need someone. So Bartidura says the suma eina mishnah. It's not correct. Duchuyahi, where this psak is duchuya, dachui. Elahi bodeka le'atzma umar lechaberta. She can examine herself, but somebody else has to obviously look at it. So suma, this woman is not on the list. She doesn't need someone else to take care of her. But the other ones, im yesh lehem pikchot, if they have someone who's there, her nanny or supervisor or whatever, mitaknot, they can letaken means make sure that they're properly tahor. They can eat truma. Derech b'not Yisrael is the way of the Jewish women. Mishamshot b'shnei idim echad lo ve'echad la. So when they engage in intercourse with their husbands, they have two cloths, one for her, one for him, and one for her. Hatznuot, the ones who are really tzanua, mitaknot lehem shlishi. They actually have a third one, the taken et habayit. Taken et habayit is another euphemism for, in order to cleanse, her private areas, to fix the house. So why does she need a third one? Why the tznuot have three? So the Bartanura says the third one, the tznuot, is because tznuot eja bodeka b'lifnei tashmish ein bodeka b'lifnei tashmish acher. She doesn't reuse. She saves them for other. She doesn't reuse them because they get dirty, and if they got dirty, then you wouldn't be able to see exactly if there was a stain. So therefore, those are the tznuot that would examine. So you see, in the times of the Mishnah, as opposed to today, where women are not encouraged to engage in internal examinations or checks unless they're Shiva Nikim, they're trying to become cleansed. Now, in the times of the Mishnah, they checked all the time. The women, the men, they checked to make sure that the house was still Al Taharata Kodesh. All right, we'll stop here. Dedicate our learning to memory of my father, Rav Simcha ben Yitzchak Kalman. Make it a great day.